So we are gathered here today to finally experience this highly anticipated figure. Trunks is back, finally, a 2.0 version of Trunks. I guess technically 3.0 if you want to count the Dragon Ball Super release, but this is our future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, and this is the second time we officially get him, of course not counting the premium color version. So I know we've gotten him a few times, but he's been in need of an upgrade, a serious upgrade since the first release about 11 years ago. So it's been well over a decade since the first release of Trunks, and that was a very highly sought after figure. It went for tons of money, you know, in the aftermarket. So it was time, and we finally got one in a brand new body mold, 3.0 articulation and all. This is the one we've been waiting for, and I've been super stoked for it. So here it is, finally. It's a regular release, released alongside his father, the Prince of All Saiyans Vegeta, which is a upgrade or a updated redecoed 2.0 Vegeta from the Android Saga, which I did review. So check out that figure review if you haven't already. So as you see, here he is on the front of the box. Here's one side of the box. Here's the back side of it. And then here's the other side right there. The actual title of this figure is Super Saiyan Trunks, the boy from the future. If you're interested, he is up on Big Bad Toy Store. So check out the links down below in the description so you guys can, grab one before he's gone. So just like the original release, that thing came with a ton of accessories, and this one does not disappoint. It follows up on its original predecessor, and it comes with two head sculpts, the powered down and the Super Saiyan head, a ton of hands and face plates, as well as his sword. So he does look pretty fantastic out of the box, man. Just standing straight up as he comes in the package. Pretty nice, man. Looks really, really good. I can already tell it's a huge upgrade compared to the original release. So much so that I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison right off the bat. So here is the height on this guy. He's about 6 inches tall, which you'd be like, okay, that's pretty standard, but you don't realize how little the original release was until you have this figure in hand. So let's go ahead and bring him in, and here he is. And no, this is not a knockoff. This is the actual real deal. This is the original release of Trunks, Future Trunks, from 11 years ago, and I just never realized how small he was until now. And you could just see proportion. I mean, it almost looks like the new one is a bit too big. Like, is he a little too big? Maybe, I don't know, but Trunks is a tall guy. At least Future Trunks, he's not a short dude. He should be taller than his father, so we all know Vegeta is pretty short. This original Trunks was definitely underscaled, especially if we bring in his father here, Vegeta. This is, of course, the newest one, so you can see how massive Vegeta is next to the original release. Like, what the heck? If we put the new one here, you can see he does stand shorter. Now, Vegeta's hair gives the illusion that he's standing taller, but he's not. If you look at his forehead and where his mouth is, just line it up with Trunks. Trunks is standing taller. His head, his face is well over Vegeta's face. His torso is well over his torso. He is taller. I think the scale works very, very nicely. If we throw in Goku, which this is the redeco Goku of Awakening. This was the exclusive this year for the World Tour of Tamashi, and next to Trunks, Goku is about the same height. Of course, the hair makes him look like he's huge, but his face is about lined up with Trunks. Maybe Trunks has a little bit of a height over him, but right now I have Goku's head down a little bit. So I think this works. Scale-wise, this is definitely way better in regards to the proportions, in regards to just accurate height of these characters, as you see. But we all know in Dragon Ball Z, they love to draw them very differently. When Vegeta first appeared, he was super short, and then he kind of gained some height as we progressed with the sagas of Dragon Ball Z. By the time we got to the Buu saga, he was way taller than he was in the Saiyan saga. So I don't know, like, it's not like he grew. So it's just the way they drew them, and that's why it's all over the place when it comes to Dragon Ball Z and people's heights or characters' heights in the show. It's hard to determine what the true height of these characters are because they're drawn so differently. Alright, so what about the original Trunks next to the original Vegeta? Because it's kind of unfair to say that he is so small next to the newer Vegeta, but even the original Vegeta was just kind of massive over this Trunks. How did I not really notice this? Like, he's just very small. So even the original, this was the very first Vegeta we ever got in the line of SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z. This is the Android Saga Vegeta, which is the one that would go with the Future Saga, or Future Trunks, right? Not Future Saga, I'm sorry, the Future Trunks from the Android Saga, which is this one right here. You can see how this doesn't really make sense either. Alright, and then here is actually the premium color edition of Trunks, which is just a repaint, redeco of the original Trunks right here in the middle. So it's the same exact figure, same height. You can see that the original release came with an alternate head sculpt that was powered down as well, just as this remake of him does. So it's cool that they still added in all the same features that the original one came with. So those of you that missed out on that original Trunks, you get everything here. All right, so of course Trunks comes with his trusty sword, and here it is. Comes separately. As you see, this one does not have a peg. The original release had a peg, and then the figure had a peg hole in the back where you snapped it in. And I remember those figures, the peg breaking after some time. But the sword goes in there just like this. So just like that, there you go. And then of course we do get the strap, which is super soft, pliable. This was another issue with the original release, where the pegs on the strap was breaking as well. So hopefully that's resolved with this release. Very super soft and pliable there. Of course we get the Super Saiyan head. We also do get the powered down head sculpt, which is right here. That looks great. Looks just like Trunks. I can't really complain about this. But he only comes with this face sculpt. That's it. No face swaps, even though you can remove the front end, which hopefully that means that another figure will come with some spare face plates for him or something like that. They have the chance to do that, but they decided to use a yellow plastic mold for the actual plastic of this, and then they just painted purple over it. That's very odd. I don't know why they didn't just go with purple and then just paint over it, but I mean that looks kind of weird. Like, why would you have like a Super Saiyan powered down Trunks? But anyways, it's covered. You don't see it. It's not bad. So looks dope. You can probably put this on armored Trunks. I'm gonna try and do that and see if we can get a armored Trunks from the Android Saga with this head sculpt. But we do get faceplates for the Super Saiyan head, which you see right here. I mean, that looks fantastic. That head sculpt looks really, really good. No complaints here. Like, that is Trunks 100%. Very, very nice. And in terms of his head sculpts or faceplates, we have the angry, shocked face, I guess. There you go, with the teeth showing. We have the powering up, mouth open faceplate. And then lastly, we do get the serious looking to the side look. That looks great. And then we get an alternate front hairpiece, which this is pretty cool. If you look at the hair right now, and then we swap it out and add in the new one here. There you go. So you can see the difference. The hair is a little bit more raised, and these two strands are present, as you see, because on this one it was just a little bit more relaxed. So the hair is definitely more raised. He's a little bit more powered up in this state. So it's pretty dope that they gave us that option there. So overall, those are all of his accessories, and it's a decent amount. As for the figure itself, you can see him right here. They went with a brand new mold, a brand new design for his jacket. You can see here it does look kind of ugly on the backside, I must admit. It's all cut up, but they did this. They sacrificed the look so you can have more range. So his arms have the butterfly joint, so you can extend his arms together. When he's holding and wielding the sword, you can do so because of the fact that there's these breakages here on the back. So that looks terrible. But then again, when you're displaying them like that, you're not going to look at it from the back. So it's cool unless it's a shot that you're taking with a photo and his back side is showing, then yeah, it looks terrible. But either way, you're going to have the sword there. So it helps, right? It helps hiding some of that ugliness. But I'm not really bothered by the fact that they designed it this way. I think it's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to look at his back at all. And I love that they allow for more range of movement with the jacket there. As you see, the sculpt in the paint, this belt piece is a loose piece, so it kind of moves around. So you got to kind of line it up sometimes. But as you see, there's the 3.0 groin articulation going down to the feet and boots. All look great. You got the Capsule Corp logo right there. All right, so taking a step back here and addressing some of the rumors that have well, not rumors, but I guess fears, because some people have gotten this figure already and posted about it, and there was a little video going around of people having issues with the arm popping off and the legs being loose, and I'm here to unfortunately report that they are very, very true. I can't even remember the last time we had quality control issues on this level for SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z. They have gotten so much better. 11, 12 years ago when this line started, this line was filled with QC issues like crazy. I still remember my Super Saiyan, or not Super Saiyan, my Saiyan Armor Vegeta from the Saiyan Saga. I still remember that figure, the legs popping off constantly. I mean, constant issues. The legs were so loose on that figure. The last time that I saw something like this, like I it was probably 10 years ago. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, this is crazy. And why did it have to happen to Trunks? Let it happen to this Goku, right? I already have it. Let it happen to Vegeta. Heck, we already have an amazing Vegeta of, from the Android Saga. Like, it's just the paint's different. That's it. It's the same figure. But it had to happen to the newest version of Trunks, and it's an absolute travesty. It really, really is. And you know what? I had to look at which factory made it, and why am I not surprised that it's coming from the Vietnam factory? So, Tamashi Nations makes these figures from Vietnam and from China, and every time it comes from Vietnam, there has been nothing but QC issues, whether it's paint, whether it's articulation, whether it's joints. There's always something compared to the Chinese ones from the China factory. Those, I mean, some of those, of course, have their issues, but nothing like the Vietnam one. Ever since Vietnam started doing them, eh, I mean, this pretty much solidifies it for me right here. And yeah, I am upset. I really am, because I was really, really excited for this figure. And yes, I still am. It still looks fantastic. Aesthetically, it looks wonderful. The scale is fixed. He looks great. Maybe he's a little too big, but hey, it's way better than the little small, underscaled Trunks that we had before. So I'll take it. But the fact that we have this issue, and yes, the arm does easily pop off. Now, it's not super easy where it's going to fall off on its own. You saw I still had a tug on it a little bit. But the fact that these come off, see, the right one does not come off. Like, this one, I will have to pull off really, really hard. But as you see, this one doesn't take a lot to take off. Why does it come off? He doesn't come with crossed arms or anything. I don't know. It looks like as if they were gonna give him crossed arms, and then they took it out, because it's obviously like kind of set up for it, but he doesn't come with it. So yeah, he's got that issue. So I'm sure when you articulate him around, you might have it pop off. But as you can see, I'm moving it around, and it's not popping off. It's loosening up, but it's not coming off completely. Super easy. So I can live with this right here. It's this that bugs the crap out of me, man. And how is this gonna look like in 10 years? I don't know. But the knees are tight. Everything else is good. Everything else is good. It'll hold the pose. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the wobble. It's got that very annoying wobble, and that should not be present in 2023. When we've been doing this for how long, Tamashi? Right? You guys are not rookies anymore. This is your line. This is your bread and butter right here. You make all your money from this line, and this is what we're gonna get. This highly anticipated Trunks. It's just, this does not make me happy at all, and it's an absolute travesty. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on before I spend just way too much time on this topic. So we'll move on here and we'll go straight into the articulation of the figure. The head will look up. He's got this super pimped out collar, but he still looks up pretty good. Head goes down pretty well too, left and right. Head tilting, very nice, like super nice range of motion for the head. Arms will go all the way up. They go down. You see, in and out. Very nice and deep. The shoulder socket is intense, dude. That's a super deep butterfly joint, and you could just see how far out you can stretch his arm. So that's super dope. I like that a lot. Lots of range there. That gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility with his sword and posing with his sword, which is very important with his Trunks. There's a bicep swivel, which I do love that they implemented that. It looks like it's just a wrinkle in the jacket, so I love that. Pretty seamless looking. There is a double jointed elbow, swivel at the wrist with a ball joint hinge. Pretty standard stuff. There's the diaphragm joint at the torso. Pretty deep, nice deep bend. It does leave a gap on the back side. When you go the other way around, he goes back that far. Swivel at the waist too. Again, the belt's loose. Legs will kick forward and they go back down. They stretch back a little bit. They don't drop down. Again, these are 3.0s, but they almost look like they would. They go in and out, full split, very nicely done. Love it, love it, love it. Nice range there. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees. We get the ankle hinge, ankle rocker. It's a ball jointed ankle, which is very nice to see. I love this. You have a lot more range and freedom than the articulation that they would put on Goku all the time. Here is the toe hinge on the foot, and that's it. Alright, so here he is with his sword attached, and I'm pleased to say that that looks fantastic. Like, really, really good. Let me tuck that in here. But it fits on perfectly. There's really no hassle in connecting the straps, which I think was a hassle with the original release. So it's perfect. Like, no issues with this. It looks fantastic. So in terms of his hands, he comes with a pair of fists. As we know, it's pretty standard. We have some open hands here, some blasting open hands, which again, pretty standard. I mean, there's no surprises here anymore with our hands from Dragon Ball Z. So here's our kind of karate chopping hands. And then we have these hands right here, and then we get a pair of hands to hold his sword, so the left and the right, and then lastly we have another pair to hold the sword. So got some options here. Alright, so once it's all said and done and the dust settles, this is the best Trunks figure on the market right now, without a doubt. I mean, it's beautiful. It is such a big upgrade compared to the original release that we got 11 years ago, and it's a much needed upgrade. It's just a huge shame that it suffers so badly with the wobbly legs and torso. But if you could somehow look past that, then you have yourself probably one of the best figures in the entire series right here. And yeah, I just hope that maybe this is just like an early production run and maybe a second batch will come out a little bit better, but that's just a big massive hope, and I don't think that's going to be the case. But with that said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, take care, take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.